Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur, especially operating globally, you know the reality, right? The office. Well, it's basically wherever your phone happens to be.
Right.
Work isn't just at a desk anymore. It's happening at the airport, maybe in a noisy taxi, sometimes squeezed between client meetings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for anyone expanding into these really dynamic markets like Thailand, staying plugged into your business data isn't just nice to have. Well, it could be the difference between landing a deal and completely missing out.
It really is. And the challenge isn't just, basic connectivity. It's managing the context.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. You might have 10 seconds between stepping out of an elevator and shaking hands with a really important investor.
Okay.
How do you, in that tiny slice of time, pull up notes from your last chat, see the latest deal updates, and know exactly what point to open with? That kind of chaos. That's where confidence just evaporates.
Right. That specific feeling, that's the pain point we're really diving into today. Our sources are pointing towards a tool that seems designed exactly for this kind of complexity. It's called Breeze Assistant. We're talking about making mobile work, smarter, especially for global entrepreneurs using the HubSpot ecosystem, particularly in, say, the Asia-Pacific region.
Yeah, Breeze Assistant, it's defined as this specialized mobile app. It was actually developed with regional specialists, R. Greenfish, and its core mission is pretty straightforward.
Which is?
To help you stay organized and, crucially, really informed wherever work takes you. Especially in a high-mobility place like Thailand, it connects right into your key business data, letting you review deals, customer activity, all directly from your phone.
And one thing we noticed right away, it seems they didn't try to lock people into one system.
Yeah.
It's cross-platform, right?
Yeah.
Available for both iOS and Android.
That's right, fully cross-platform.
So this isn't just some basic note app. It sounds more like a command center for making quick business decisions on the move.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Why does this kind of agility matter so much, specifically in the Thai market? Looking at the data, the need for speed just seems amplified there.
Oh, it absolutely is. Thailand's it's a fast growth market, and it's very high contact.
High contact.
Yeah, you've got dense cities like Bangkok, where traffic alone means meetings are packed tightly, delays happen. You've got to be ready instantly.
Wow.
Then you've got regional travel, maybe visiting suppliers up in Chiang Mai or checking distribution down south. Connectivity can be, unpredictable. So every single conversation feels pretty high stakes.
I remember this one time I had to stall a really key client because I just couldn't remember if we'd agreed on the second or third version of a contract. That feeling.
Oh, yeah.
That panic when you're pretending to check your watch, but you're actually desperately scrolling through old emails. That's the mobile nightmare.
That is exactly the nightmare Breeze Assistant is designed to stop. The sources actually break down the benefits for mobile entrepreneurs into 4 key strategic ways it helps you stay on top of your game.
Okay, lay 'em on me. Let's look at the strategic value here.
All right, first up, preparation. Before you walk into any meeting, even a surprise run-in, you get these quick AI-generated summaries. Your contact, related deals, recent activities, all pulled straight from the CRM.
Right, so it eliminates that awkward fumbling around phase.
Exactly.
Which isn't just about convenience, is it? That sounds like a negotiation advantage. You look sharp, sound informed, and you save time for the actual important discussion point.
Precisely. Okay, second, speed and response. When you're literally, running between places or stuck in traffic, the tool lets you dictate quick updates or replies using speech to text. So your efficiency doesn't just tank because your hands are full or it's noisy around you.
That's huge for getting immediate thoughts down. But what about, say, right after the meeting, when all those little details, the body language, that offhand comment, start to fade?
Good point. That brings us to number 3, insight capture. The tool is really optimized for that immediate post-meeting brain dump. You can quickly add notes, context while it's all fresh, tag key phrases, action items, make sure those critical, but often fleeting details get secured in the CRM right away.
Yeah.
This is super important in cultures where a lot happens subtly, outside the formal proposal.
Okay, that makes sense. And finally, you mentioned spotty connectivity when traveling regionally. What if the Wi-Fi just dies?
Right. So the fourth benefit is accessibility. The system gives you secure access to your necessary records even when you're traveling or potentially offline.
So you're not cut off.
You're not cut off. You still have your business info cache right there, which is fundamental for keeping things moving, especially with supply chain or distribution stuff outside the capital.
Let's make this concrete with that example from the sources. You're meeting a potential distributor, maybe in a busy Bangkok hotel lobby.
Okay.
You pull up Breeze Assistant. Before you even walk in, you've scanned not just the history, but maybe the financial forecast linked to them, the last 3 interactions.
You walk in prepared, confident, yes. But crucially, the time you save doing that means your actual focus is on reading the room, building rapport, closing the deal. That preparedness, that's your competitive edge in a tough environment.
So we get why it's needed. But let's get down to the details. How does an entrepreneur actually get started with this? I noticed a specific, pretty high technical requirement mentioned.
Yeah, it's available in the usual spots, App Store, Google Play Store. But there's some important prerequisites. Your device needs to be running at least iOS 18 or Android 10 or later.
Hold on, iOS 18. That sounds quite new. Isn't that a potential barrier in a market where device types might vary a lot?
It does sound high, yeah. But it seems to point directly to the advanced AI and security features needed for the assistant functions to work properly.
Wow.
The tool isn't just fetching static data, it's dynamically summarizing things, drafting responses, and it needs to ensure really top-tier security for sensitive business info. Running it on older operating systems could compromise either how well it works or, worse, data security. So the requirement is there to guarantee performance and protection. It's kind of a trade-off for that speed and security.
Okay, that explanation makes sense. So, assuming your OS is compatible, you install it. What's the setup like then?
It's pretty easy. You log in with your HubSpot credentials. The really crucial part, though, is connecting your calendar and contacts.
Why is that so important?
Because that integration is what creates the magic, you could say.
Yeah.
It lets the app know who you're meeting next and proactively pulls those useful summaries for you.
Gotcha. And the sources mentioned minimal friction there, too. Like you just tap something like, prepare for my next meeting.
Exactly. The assistant handles the heavy lifting. But this is where it gets really interesting, especially thinking about, compliance and trust. Let's talk about this unique security feature they have involving temporary chats.
Temporary chats. That sounds, I don't know, almost risky for a business tool. Wouldn't you want a permanent record of everything for history and compliance?
Normally, yes, absolutely. But it seems the developers understood that complex business talks often involve brainstorming or maybe sensitive internal questions that, frankly, shouldn't live forever in the main CRM record.
Okay.
So this unique feature means you can use the AI assistant for quick queries, exploring sensitive internal ideas maybe, but those specific chats are explicitly not stored in memory or history.
They just vanish.
They vanish after the session.
Okay, give me an example. When would having non-log notes be a strategic plus, not a liability?
All right, imagine you're prepping for a high-stakes meeting, maybe about a potential merger. You need to quickly ask the assistant, what's the liability exposure from their latest restructuring docs? Something like that.
Right, highly sensitive.
Extremely. If that query, that chat, got logged permanently in the general CRM history, it could potentially become discoverable later or just clutter up the official record. By making it temporary, you get the instant insight you need without committing a potentially sensitive, internal, maybe hypothetical discussion to the permanent archive.
So it sounds like a way to do rapid internal brainstorming and maybe minimize liability, allowing faster decisions without the bureaucratic weight of logging every single thought.
Exactly. It suggests a pretty sophisticated understanding of how modern, fast-paced business actually flows.
That security feature, the temporary chat, definitely shows a deep understanding of, how complex business conversations really work. But let's zoom out a bit. The mobile app itself is just the front end, right? It's pulling from a huge amount of data somewhere. What's the bigger ecosystem that Breeze Assistant taps into?
Yeah, that's a great point. If you connect it to the bigger picture, Breeze Assistant is sitting within this pretty massive infrastructure. That's what allows it to access really deep source data across the whole sales and operations pipeline.
Okay.
So obviously this includes the core HubSpot services, CRM, marketplace, accounting, training, support, all that. But the real strength, especially for the Thai market, seems to be its integration with tools that are essential regionally.
Right, that's the part that probably needs explaining. The sources listed specific things like Line CRM, Line Beacon, Loyalty Hub. Now, for an entrepreneur maybe focused on the US or Europe, those names might just sound like, tech jargon. Why are they so critical in Thailand?
That's a super important distinction. In Thailand, and honestly much of Southeast Asia, Line isn't just a messaging app like WhatsApp or Messenger might be elsewhere. It often functions as the main channel for communication, for e-commerce, even customer service. It's huge.
So if your CRM isn't talking to Line,
You're potentially missing like 80% of your customer conversations and a huge chunk of your sales funnel data. It's that integrated into daily life and business.
Wow. Okay, so the line CRM integration means pretty much every customer chat, even casual ones, gets captured.
Exactly. And the integrations go even deeper than just chat. Things like Line Beacon, for instance, that allows for proximity marketing identifying customers when they're physically near a store or event. And Loyalty Hub helps manage those complex regional customer retention programs. Breeze Assistant basically makes sure all the data gathered by these really localized tools is instantly usable for you on the go, right alongside your standard HubSpot data.
Plus, you still have the broader cloud stuff, mentioned Google Cloud, Google Workspace, the Content Hub CMS. It confirms this tool is built for, like, total digital integration, not just some small niche.
Absolutely. And you can see the breadth of who this kind of organized mobile approach is for. The fact that the supporting partner, our Greenfish, works across such a diverse range of industries really shows its capability.
Yeah, what were they? Healthcare, wellness, banking, financial.
Education, automotive, e-commerce, startups, B2B, consumer products. It's a widespread.
It really reinforces that this system and the tool accessing it can support complex, diverse business activities.
Well,
Across highly regulated sectors or technically complex ones, you're not just selling simple widgets.
right.
You might be managing intricate supply chain logistics for a car company or dealing with regulatory checks for a bank.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you're handling patient confidentiality in healthcare or intricate financial rules, that need for immediate contextual data access when you're mobile is pretty much universal across all those varied sectors. The mobile tool is just the interface for managing that universal complexity.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, the main finding seems pretty clear. Thailand's business landscape being so dynamic really rewards people who can adapt quickly and stay incredibly organized. And it's about treating your mobile device not just as a phone, but as a strategic data terminal.
Yeah.
Breeze Assistant is positioned here as that mechanism to manage your work efficiently, making sure you keep laser focus on your strategic goals, no matter where business actually takes you.
And ultimately, I think the real goal for global entrepreneurs isn't just about being online all the time, constantly reacting to pings and notifications. That path often just leads to burnout and really reactive management styles.
Right. So what's the takeaway then for our listener? What's the kind of mindset shift we should be thinking about?
The focus should shift, I think, completely. It needs to be less about being always on and more about staying ready and informed wherever business actually happens. This way of thinking encourages you, the listener, to maybe reevaluate your relationship with that constant connectivity. Shift your mobile use away from just passive scrolling and reacting towards more proactive preparation so that the next time you walk into one of those high-stakes meetings, you feel like you've already won half the battle just through having that immediate targeted insight right when you need it.